Okay, fight fans, fight fiends, welcome back to Manny's Thoughts. I, of course, Manny MTL or Manny Montreal. Make sure to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and obviously thefightcity.com. As usual, I'll give you guys my thoughts on what's going down in the world of combat sports. Let's get started. Okay, so unfortunately I don't have any congratulations to give out. Schiller Ippolit was not victorious in Germany. He fought a very hard-hitting opponent. He did really good early on avoiding this guy's punches, but what did touch Schiller must have been really, really heavy because the ref had to stop it. Really tough fight. Hoping Schiller goes back to the drawing board, gets a little bit of rest, maybe concentrates on himself a little bit and comes back to the ring sometime soon. Unfortunately, this wasn't the one, but I look forward to Schiller Ippolit fighting again. Now, as far as news is concerned, there is some big stuff happening in the heavyweight division right now. Basically, with Tyson Fury and Klitschko just being disappeared, all kinds of things are happening. So, first up, Bermane Steverns got a fight lined up in December. Andy Ruiz has got a fight lined up in December. Shannon the Cannon is finally getting a title shot. The champ! Gotta hand it to Shannon the Cannon. I've been saying it for a while now. You know what? He deserves the shot. Anybody that says different has obviously not been paying attention to social media. I realize that social media is not the only reason he should get a shot. The man's fought 60 plus fights. He's a knockout machine and he's in fantastic shape. Give him his shot, for God's sakes. That's all he wants. We can judge him after the fight. Just give him the damn shot. So I'm happy it's happening. Hopefully I don't jinx it with all that and no injuries or nothing happens days before the fight and Shannon the Cannon actually gets the fight. Last but not least, the impossible has been done. Luis Ortiz has got a fight. Yes. And not only has he got a fight, but they're talking about other fights. And they're talking about belts for him. And it looks really, really good. A little bit of a change in environment might be the right thing for Luis King Kong Ortiz. They got him a fight. I'm just really happy Luis King Kong Ortiz is fighting this weekend. It's going to be one hell of a fight. Tune in. It's going to be, I believe that if you stream it, you could probably watch it in the afternoon, but it's going to be on Boxing After Dark. I talk about it a little later. Last but not least, what's going on thefightcity.com. As usual, great articles and posts for you guys to check out on the daily. I got some big news. Now, there's going to be a little issue with the video because I filmed the last part before I filmed this part, but I just got the news, so I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to Philadelphia. I am going to watch Garcia versus Vargas, Dan versus Hurd, and Omar versus Javier. Man, Super O versus El Abejon. That is one hell of a fight. It's flying under the radar. I talk about it a little later on. So, you know what? No further ado, here we go. Okay, so this weekend is very busy. Our dance card is very full. We've got some important fights, some interesting fights, and more importantly, some historic fights. Now, first up, Friday morning at 7 a.m., going down live if you stream it, if not a little later on the Fight Network, One Championship MMA. Great outfit. They put on solid cards. Aoki will be defending his title. Friday night, live and free on Spike. Another great outfit. They've been putting down some really good cards lately. Bellator MMA is going down. Saturday afternoon in London, England, we've got Cage Warriors. They've been... Almost every champion they've had has gone on to the UFC. They've been really putting on great shows for a while now. If you don't know them, you obviously haven't been watching this show. Going down live, if you stream it at about 4:30 in the afternoon, if not later on at night, live and free on HBO After Dark. From Monaco, they got King Kong a fight. Ladies and gentlemen, the impossible is happening. The man's actually going to get paid to punch somebody.
Luis King Kong Ortiz, the future and undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. In my mind, the unbeatable Luis Ortiz versus Malik Scott, who is basically the sacrificial lamb to my joy. I would like to thank Malik Scott for having more nuts than most of the heavyweight division and facing Luis Ortiz, a true devastating heavyweight boxer that our era has been clamoring for. Speaking of clamoring for, it's actually happening, folks. They've actually made it happen. UFC and NYC, Madison Square Gardens, the Mecca, the home of all fighting, is now truly the home of all fighting. The UFC 205 Alvarez versus McGregor. It is a stacked card. Stupid stacked. They did it on purpose. They wanted to hit New York on all cylinders, and fans, it is going to be tough to not watch this one, but I'll explain. First up, you've got Liz Carmouche on the card, Tim Boetsch, Jim Miller versus Thiago Alves, then Rashad Evans versus Tim Kennedy, Khabib Nurmagomedov, who should have clearly have gotten a title shot and been headlining this whole damn thing, versus Michael Johnson, another very terrifying fighter. If it wasn't for Khabib, I'd be betting on Michael Johnson, but Khabib's just a freak of nature. Then Frankie Edgar versus Jeremy Stevens, Miesha Tate versus Raquel Pennington, Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus Kevin Gastelum. I feel sorry for Kevin Gastelum, but I think they're fed up of him, so they fed him to Cowboy. Chris Weidman versus Yoel Romero. Whoever loses this fight, it's not going to be pretty. That is one thing for sure. I'm not done, folks. This keeps going. The champ, Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I can't even say their names. They're Polish. They're badasses. They're undefeated. It's women fighting at its highest level. UFC Women's Strawweight title on the line. Then after that, another title on the line. The UFC Welterweight on the title up for grabs between Tyron Woodley and Stephen Thompson. People are basically calling this a foregone conclusion. Stephen Thompson having fought Rory and basically he won against Rory, so there's no one denying he is the present king in most people's eyes. Tyron Woodley is the champ, but it is what it is, folks. Stephen Thompson walking in the clear favorite. Last but not least, proof if you got a mouth, it sells. It's the main event. Eddie Alvarez versus Conor McGregor. You know, Conor's got a shot at getting 2 belts. Does he deserve it? I don't know. Is he a draw? Absolutely. Does Eddie Alvarez stand a chance? Well, somebody asked me if they'd made a good bet betting on McGregor, and I told them no. And the main reason why is because Eddie Alvarez isn't the kind of guy you can prepare for. You think you can prepare for him, but he's not. He is that upper elite fighter, and as much as I respect what Conor has done, I do think the size, and Conor is going to show up taller and with a longer reach and probably weighing the same, but Eddie Alvarez has been fighting at this weight since forever. He knows this territory, and I don't see him losing to Conor McGregor. That's my personal opinion. It is what it is. Last but not least, if everything works out for me, I'm still waiting for an email. I'm hopefully going to be going to this PBC on Spike live from Philly. Danny Garcia puts the WBC belt on the line against Sammy Vargas, a kid from Toronto, a guy that a lot of people are shitting on and calling Danny Garcia a cherry picker. I think after they watch this fight, they're going to realize that Sammy Vargas was not a walk in the park. That being said, I understand that people wanted more for Danny Garcia, but this is still a very solid fight. The main reason I'm going to be going, last minute announcement, Jarrett Hurd versus Jojo Dan. Jojo Dan is stepping up in weight and taking this fight against Jared Swift Hurd. 18-0, 12 KOs. The kid's a volatile boxer. He's very dangerous. Jojo Dan is, in my mind, far more experienced. I am rooting for the home team as suspected, as expected. Jojo Dan will win this fight. Hopefully, I will be there to watch it. And then, if that wasn't enough, there's some other fights on this card, but if that wasn't enough for this boxing head, Omar Douglas versus Javier Fortuna. I've had the fortune to watch Fortuna fight before when I got lucky enough to watch Lemieux versus Triple G. And I've never seen Omar Douglas in person, but I like what he brings to the table. This is a beautiful matchup. It's going underneath the radar, but it is a superb matchup. This will be boxing at its finest. I don't even want to know who wins this. I'm just hoping both guys walk away and are able to fight again afterwards. What a beautiful night of fights. Now, quick reminder, if you missed HBO After Dark, King Kong Ortiz will be on HBO at 11:30 p.m. Replay on HBO. That's it for me this week. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. That's how I get by, other than you guys occasionally buying a t-shirt. P.S. If you want a t-shirt, hit me up. That's it for me this week. I'll see you guys next week.